Friends, today is Wednesday, the 22nd of July, and it's the feast of St. Mary Magdalene. And I emphasize feast because in 2016, Pope Francis raised this from a memorial to an actual feast in the Church, and thus putting St. Mary Magdalene at the same level as the apostles themselves. Because Mary Magdalene is sometimes called the apostle to the apostles. She is the one who witnessed the resurrected Lord and returned to the apostles and said to them, "I have seen the Lord." And we have that in our gospel today. Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he told her. In a sense, Mary Magdalene has gone through kind of two rehabs in the recent years, one scriptural. And the scriptural rehab is that there is really no scriptural basis to think of Mary Magdalene as the reformed prostitute who anoints the feet of Jesus and dries them with her hair. There's no name given to that woman. But for some reason, Mary Magdalene's name was attached to it. Now, she is the woman from whom 7 demons were expelled. And so maybe that somehow made a connection. But as I mentioned, the other rehab is that her feast day, this day has become a feast, and we celebrate it as a feast, as an apostle. In the Gospels, the word apostle is used for those who were with the Lord from the very beginning of his public ministry to the end, to his crucifixion, to his resurrection. Mary Magdalene fits that description. She and a number of women became some of the first disciples of Jesus in Galilee and followed him faithfully to the cross itself. You know, the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, all the men at the crucifixion run, gone. They're not present for the crucifixion. Out of fear, they run and leave and abandon Jesus. But the faithful women, including Mary Magdalene, remained. And thus today's feast gives us the opportunity as well to take a look at the resurrection account from the Gospel of John. Beautiful account. Starting in darkness, it says that Mary Magdalene, let's get that here, it was on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early in the morning while it was still dark. Still dark. Not knowing, not understanding, not knowing what has happened to the Lord. The tomb is empty. A couple of angels are present, ask her for whom she is looking, and of course she is wondering about the body of Jesus. Later, the same question is given to her, "Who are you looking for?" And she thinks it's the gardener, but in fact it's Jesus himself. She doesn't recognize him because it is the resurrected Lord. Everything has changed. When Jesus says her name, Mary, she says Rabboni, which means my teacher, which is the previous relationship that Mary had with Jesus. And she clings to him. She clings to him. Mary recognizes when Jesus says her name, the Good Shepherd who knows all the sheep by name. Mary recognizes Jesus, and she clings to him, and he tells her, "Do not cling to me, because I must return to the Father." Mary is holding on to the former relationship, symbolized by that word Rabboni, my teacher. But Jesus is now going to become something much more to her and to all of us. He must return to the Father. In other words, the entrance of the glorified humanity of Jesus into the presence of God. and thus giving us access, all human beings access, intimate access to the Father. Jesus tells her to return to the disciples and to tell them, to announce to them that she has seen the Lord. And she does. A faithful witness to the end. On this Feast of Mary Magdalene, we remember her because of that fidelity to Jesus from the beginning to the very end, to the resurrection itself. Many legends have grown up around Mary Magdalene. Some recent novels have spoken of Mary and so on. All of it is just legend. None of it really. There's no foundation in truth for it. What is true is that she experienced the risen Lord and remained faithful. And thus she becomes a good model, a model for discipleship, to witness to the resurrected Lord and to be faithful. Hold that thought, and we'll see you tomorrow.